my humble shop. Okay, basically, what is Fazzbike? Fazzbike is my baby, where we do a lot of road bike servicing, tune-ups for hybrid bikes, almost all sorts of bikes. So basically, here is my what I call wall of fame. Basically, I'm a two-time national champion in road biking, 2016 and 2017. These are the two jerseys that I own, and this one is the Tour of Bintan Sprinter jersey, which they crowned the overall winner for the Sprinter jersey. And this is the Fuji Asia, which the pro team that I was riding for before, let's say about 13 years ago. And this is the national champ jersey with a flag on the shoulder. And this is the current jersey that we have for our team, which is the same as I'm wearing it. So these are the bikes that needs to be serviced. Some of it are also the foley that we put it here. So this is my workshop that I spend most of my time working on all the bikes.
Ken, thank you for sharing your Fazzbike shop.
Okay.
So sometimes I get confused between Fazzbike and Siti bike. So can you share what's the difference between Fazzbike and Siti bike?
Okay, Siti bike. Siti bike is actually named after my wife. Her name is Siti. But why we call it Siti bike? Siti bike is basically more on the city bike, where we concentrate more on the folding bikes that we sell, which is the 360 and the Pikes folding bike. So yeah, this is Siti bike, just next door to Fazzbike. So come on in.
Okay, thank you.
So these are our collections of folding bikes that we have, which is comprised of the 360, Pikes, and more Pikes over here. So we have road bikes here, but those are not for sale. Those are my personal collections. And the boss of Siti bike is just behind there. That's the boss. That's Siti.
Hi, I'm Siti.
So this is your shop?
Yes.
So your
mainly only on the folding.
okay, Ken. Okay. So that's the introduction for both shops, Fazzbike and Siti bike.
Correct. Yeah. They're just next to each other. You can't separate them.
So both of you all are very supportive of each other.
Yes, definitely.
That's what makes this business work very well, do very well.
So she has her own road bike also. Not only me. She also owns a road bike.
So
we
this-
have our mountain bike at the back. So yeah, we ride almost all sorts of bikes. Yeah.
Okay.
She has her own 4D also. My son also has one. So yeah, we are basically like over here. We are a bicycle family. That's us.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing both shops.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, now let's move on to the interview session so you can find out more about your personal life and your stories that you can share with the cycling community.
Sure, can.
Okay. $2, but why not $50?
I normally don't carry $50 when I go cycling.
Don't be a slave to the bike.
Yes, you make the bike slave to you. Wait during the rain. So
Thank you, Fazz, for giving me this opportunity to interview you and to find out more about you.
I'm honored. Thank you for coming down.
So I was recommended by my friends.
Okay.
They asked me to interview you so that they can find out more about you because they think that you cover a lot of interesting stories to share.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some interesting stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fazz, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Fazzboy, or they just call me Fazz. Basically, I've been racing mountain bike, road bike for about 30 years. So that's where the love of cycling, or I say passion, come about, and that's where Fazzbike 360 also comes about.
Thank you very much. So Fazz, when was this shop founded and how do you start this shop? What gave you the courage to start a bicycle shop?
Okay, basically this shop has been around for a total of 11 years. So at this current location, it's about 8 years. Last time when we started out, we are at just below the foot of Morever. We were there for 3 years, and then of course every business, rental and all that went out. So we decided to move to a new location. And when we are looking for a new location, we couldn't find any good price rental for shops in the first floor. So we had to settle for second floor, which is what I call Russian roulette. Bike shop, second floor, So we take the chance lah. People say kakak lah, we just go. So yeah, so thank God, yeah, been good 8 years right now here, and yeah. So how it gets started, basically, like I say, I've been racing for 30 years. I've been in the civil service line, and then me, myself, and my wife, we are in hotel industry also. So more on guest relations and all that. So after working for people and racing professionally for a couple of years, so I decided to come back and try something new, which actually I work for my friend in a bicycle shop. And story cut short, what was promised wasn't delivered. So at the end of the day, I say, why not? I just open my own, and then that's how it started.
Thank you for sharing your story. Talking about your location, actually, when I first came to your shop, I wanted to look for your shop. It was a bit hard to find, but if your service is good, and I think customers will always come and remember where's your location. So that isn't a main issue or any challenge, because what you promise is service. So if your service is good, no matter which location you shift to in Singapore, they'll still come back to find you.
Yeah, that was our thinking also, because when we started out, it's like second floor, then, but at the end, back of my mind, it's like we already built a name for ourselves for the past 3 years. So we already preempt our customers that we are moving, this and that, and then we do have negative feedback. We say, oh yeah, second floor, no, this and that. But then a lot of our customers, as far as Jurong, Boon Lay, do come back to us for service. And from the first year, we know that we would survive, because people don't mind coming to us, second floor and this and that. So yeah, we just press on, providing service and so forth to all our customers, and yeah.
So when did your passion for cycling first started?
Funny you should ask. Bicycle started way back 30 years ago. The idea of me, I'm actually more into fishing. Okay. I need a bike to go fishing, and at that time, we couldn't really afford a bike. My family wasn't well to do, so borrow from friends and this and that. And then my mom bought me my first bike, which cost $1,000. Imagine about 30 over years ago, $1,000 is like now.
It's a lot, man.
It's like $10,000. So I lost it within a month during fishing.
Wow.
A family was fishing with us and say, hey, can I borrow your bike? We talk to each other. Can I borrow your bike? I want to go to the toilet. Buy fishing bait. I can remember clearly. So I said, okay, why not? Because the family, the wife and the kids is there. So I said, why not? Since we already talked and all that. So after like good 10-15 minutes, and then the kid say needs to go to the toilet. And the kid is like 4 or 5 years old. So I say, want to go to the toilet. Then the mom say, bring to the toilet. Let me to look after the bags. I say, why not? And then when they left, it's like,
did they come back to get their bags?
that's the thing. When I said, like something
A
wrong.
few moments
So I just opened up the bag and found, shit, there's nothing inside the bag.
What the?
Then I said, shit, then I borrowed my friend's bike. Then I go to the fishing shop. Last time we were fishing at Kallang River, I can remember. And last time behind my shop, which is the block 7 Beach Road, there are a lot of rows of fishing shop. So I went in and I couldn't find my bike. Basically, I couldn't find my bike, means I couldn't find him. So went back, go to the toilet, I couldn't find. And went back, then I said, shit.
So that's your first the biggest heart pain you ever encountered?
Yeah, because I don't know how to explain to my mom.
Yeah.
After, like I said, we are not well to do. Even though we have a makan shop at Blanco Court at that time, my mom helped me to buy 1,000 over. And then when I went back, I told my mom, she would just tell me, it's okay. It's not meant for you. So after that, I'm determined to save up. And I saved up to like $130 to buy my first so-called mountain bike. She bought me a mountain bike, but this one is like last time, like our standard now Urata. With that Urata, I made a lot of friends. So we went as far as Desaru with that bike. And I entered my first mountain bike race last time is in front, opposite Singapore Poly. It's called the Boys Brigade track. It's adopted by the Boys Brigade. I went there to race with my dad, so-called bike, $100 over, and I won the race. That's where my cycling or my passion for cycling or racing started, and sponsors came in. That's where I was offered a bike worth $6,000. It's called Kona Hehe. It's a titanium custom built by, his name is Lee. He owns a bike shop at just behind Bedok Stadium. He's there till now. So big thank you to him for starting my cycling career. And that's how I started till today. So that's how I get into cycling, racing, and so forth.
You said it was like a Yurata, means the bicycle might not be the best, but you enjoyed the journey, you enjoyed the process, right?
Yeah, it's like what the NS guy always say, under the bopian act. That's what you have. You
But
make do with it.
you still made it through.
Yes, we
And you
went
still
to
love cycling.
Disaro and all that. I think I remember I went to Mount Ophir with that bike with a group of abang and uncles. Being the youngest at the time, I think 12 years old. So yeah, I mean that time, as long as I can press on the pedal, the bike move, I'm happy. Yeah.
So the bike went up to the boat with you onto another island. It must be very
Correct.
precious.
It is, but you ask me where's the bike? I can't remember what's the bike now.
But at least you have a lot of memories.
Yes,
you
correct.
still can remember all these memories.
Yeah,
you can share.
that's how I kind of like started. That's why also I treasure whatever bike was given to me as a sponsor. I would never say, oh, how come you only give me this kind of group set or components, or no, because at the end of the day, the engine is more important than the bike. So yeah,
It's the legs, right?
yeah. I mean, I started out with a what we call crappy bike, and then it made me who I am today. Which yeah, I still got a lot to learn, but yeah, I'm quite thankful. Yeah.
So, talking about the legs, how do you manage to ride the Pikes at an average speed of 37 kilometers for how long is the distance? 8
Wow, bro, you
kilometers.
stopped me, bro. Okay.
Yeah, I did some research. Actually, I used to follow
Oh, you
Fazz.
stopped me,
I do stalk him on Facebook. Right, he always shares like bike servicing videos, safety maintenance, safety tips, maintenance tips. So I must admit, I'm a stalker.
Okay. Basically, for that,
I'm a fan.
that speed that I did on Foley on the standard Pikes is more on pure power. It's nothing to do with the upgrading of the parts and all that. So I want to see how fast can a stock Pike go. In fact, I've been riding my Pikes for about a year plus, coming to 2 years. It's just that I have never really do any clocking or anything like that. So when my friend that night say, hey, let's go and ride using our Foley Jiahong, so I said, okay, why not lah? Say, you want to wear jersey or you want to wear t-shirt? And I just wear t-shirt, so nothing. So when we went, we clocked quite a good speed, and then coming back, I say, hey, why not? I try to see what's the average speed. It's basically from the start of the bike lane, from where the Changi side all the way to the NSRCC traffic light. So it's about 9 kilometers. So that whole stretch, we clocked basically about 35.8, 35.9 if I can remember correctly. So it's quite a good speed. So yeah, the wind was a bit forgiving. Like I will not like not like where it's December the headwind. So
It could be stronger, right?
it could be stronger, but it's just that.
But with the wind resistance, you still can cycle at 37 kilometers. Wow, you're putting me in shame, man.
No. It's basically it's all about the training. Basically, I've been riding my road bikes and all that. So I ride almost every day if I can, and yeah. So it's all in the legs, I would say, because a lot of customers or friends ask me how to make the bike go faster. To be very honest, there's no way that I can make the bike go faster because it's not an e-bike. It's all in the legs. I mean, I have to be honest with them because I do not want to play with their feelings. You see, like say, yeah, you upgrade this can go faster. But then when they upgrade, say, hey, bro, my speed same lane. So I have to be honest with them.
So
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of improvement to do. I keep on complaining that internal hubs, right, is slowing me down. There's a like dragginess feel. So at the end of the day, it's actually okay. The main reason is because my legs are weak. If I'm a new cyclist, I'm a customer. how do you how will you help them to choose a bicycle? What tips or recommendations do you have for the customer to choose a bicycle that suits them?
Okay. When we talk about buying a bike, first we want to know what's the purpose of them buying the bike. So, for example, they want to buy a folding bike. To me, folding bike. When you say folding bike, the first word folding. So you should be able to fold easily, and maybe push into public transport and without carrying. So that's why we sell 360 and bike, because these are the bikes that is very convenient, easy to fold. I mean, my son, which is 10 years old, he also can fold himself. So which I think is good for everybody. So at the end of the day, is if you say, okay, I want a folding bike, and then I want it to be easy for me to move around into MRT. So these are the bikes for you. But let's say you say, oh, I'm thinking of going around island. My working place is very far. I want to cycle to work. At times, yes, I take the public transport, but not all the time. Then maybe you can consider a 20E, which is the bifold. For this kind of bikes, we do not have a frame, what we call frame sizing. But if you talk about like hybrid bikes, road bike, mountain bike, you have to take into consideration of your height. So when you go to a shop, they will ask for your height, or what we call the inseam clearance, inseam height. Then they will recommend you according to the size. Then before that also, they probably ask you, like me, I will ask you, what's your budget like? So from there, then we can give you a rough estimation what kind of bike can you get, because we do not want to scare you by saying, okay, you should be a M size. Then I show you a $15,000 bike. Then it's like, then of course I will ask, what kind of pricing are you looking at? What kind of riding? So we will try to fit into your usage, your budget, and all that. Yeah, the size is very important. It cannot be oversized, because you'll be overstretched. Then too small, then you're supposed to be super high and all that. So it has to be a correct size. For me, I'm about 170. So different bike, the frame sizing is a bit different. So in general, I should be a S frame. But if I will want something a bit more upright, where
Sorry, what's your height for S frame?
S is not okay. When we talk about a road bike, S is normally from about 163 to 170. But there are people who are about 170, they like to stretch into an M. So sometimes we call in between. So they will play a shorter stem. Stem is where the reach is. They can play with that, and then they prefer, because, for example, for S size, the head tube is shorter, while the M frame is slightly longer. So they were not too low, they are a bit slightly higher. So they prefer that kind of upright. So they go into medium, but they will have to cut down on their stem size, because, for example, small size frame, the top tube length, what we call it, maybe is at 50, while the medium will be a 52, so a bit longer. So you cut down on the stem, but you be a bit more upright rather than being too forward and slouching. So all that plays a part in your fitting. There are some bike fitters who provide bike fitting before you purchase a bike. So from there, you pay a certain amount to get them you fitted and all that, and then you get your bike. If not, you can just walk into a shop where they actually size you up there and then.
So I'm 178. What frame size would you recommend?
Again, depends on
what
kind of riding and all that. 178, you are actually in between a medium and a large. Okay, if a medium, you will be what we call a very aggressive position. Again, we're talking more on a road bike. A large should be a bit more upright. So yeah, about 178, that kind of height. So like I said, different frame brand, the sizing might be different. So certain brand, you go with extra small, because extra small, the top tube is like a normal small. So there is a sizing chart. You just have to be careful. So best to walk into a shop that has a good stock of bikes, so you can actually sit on it and have a rough
view.
So you see whether it's too stretched and all that. So also good to have a friend who's experienced in biking to go with you, to help you also to see whether is it good for you. Do not bring a friend that say, hey, upgrade. That one later then.
That's poisonous.
Yeah. So bring a friend that is actually helping you in terms of sizing, so you don't make a mistake on the sizing. Yeah. Later upgrading, that one later. That one you bring me.
So Fazz, what bikes do you sell?
At Fazzbike. Okay, at Fazzbike we concentrate more on the road bikes where we actually deal with niche brand. Niche brand is the Thai brand made in Taiwan. They do more on customization of colors, components and all that. So it's more on custom build, more on personal touch. So they come in to me and then again their height and all that. So we determine their size. Work with them on the colors and all that, and we send to niche and then get it painted, bring it over, we fix it up for them. So in City Bike we have 360 and Pikes. These are the two main brands that we actually concentrate. The other brand will be the Gravity. Gravity is actually also Pikes, but for Thailand market. So these are the three brands that we concentrate on.
Okay. So other than selling bicycles, what services do you provide? Do you provide for all the customers and or only solely concentrating on your customers?
For servicing we do a lot of bikes like racing bike, mountain bike we kind of like slow down or stop, I would say. Hybrid bikes, city bikes and all that. But for fully we do like brands like Dahon, Fuhon or whatsoever, bifold. For the trifold, we do Bromptons also, 360 and Pikes, not purchased from us also. Those who purchase from us, we also provide them the after sales service. Those who doesn't purchase from us and they do about our service, we do also provide them service. Basically, my site here is sometimes quite full. I'm one man show, so they basically have to WhatsApp me, book an appointment. I give them a date. The bike needs to be here one day before and allow 2 working days for me to finish on the bike. That being reason is sometimes we have other bikes before you that has a bit of problem, so they may delay the process. It's just that your bike needs to be here one day before, so that in case of any cancellation, we can fill in that slot and not let the slot go to waste. Because like I said, I'm one man show, so the time between me and the customer need to get their bike done is very, very small window.
So it's important to book an appointment with you first.
Yes, yeah. Even those who do the after sales service, where what we call the free bike check, free tune up and all that, normally they will message me, hey Fazz, I would like to bring it for the free tune up. When can I bring it? So I will look at the calendar, see which is a good time, then I'll say, oh, can you bring down your bike in say lunchtime, and probably go for lunch and pick it up, or you can pick up at the end of the day or other days. But we try not to leave the bike too long here, being reason we also got space problem, and we don't want my white cat to be running around and not on your bike. So we want to take care of all customers' bike. So we don't want the shop to be too cluttered with all the bikes. So normally it's like 3-4 days they cannot pick up. Okay lah, don't stretch until like a week or so lah.
Can understand. Fazz, what kind of upgrades are important for cyclists to help them the cycling experience?
Okay, when we talk about upgrades, there is a few, but why not we talk about the trifold folding bike first? So when they purchase from me, basically I would look at their body first, whether how tall and all that. So normally, let's say a guy who's buying a Pikes or 360 and he's about 172, 173, which is taller than me. Definitely I will tell him that he might need a longer seat post, because the current seat post is not long enough for him. So that is one of the upgrades. Then sometimes they will ask me what kind of upgrades can I do. Here we normally would recommend you what is needed or what's more important. Like seat post, saddle, better quality pedals and all that. So sometimes they will ask me, oh, I want to change the chainring size to a bigger one because my friend said can go faster. That one I would not recommend because the customers have not actually tried the bike. the standard children size comes in 48. So I would always advise them to try it out first, and then you feel whether the 48 is enough or too overpower for you. Then from there you come back to me after riding, say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then you tell me, and then I will let you know whether you can upgrade or upsize or downsize. So because let's say you say, oh, I've been using the heavy gear, and then my speed is hitting at 28, and my legs are like cartoon already, what we call cadence. So in that way you can upgrade to a bigger size, say a 50 or 52 slowly, because some people say I want to go to a 56. That will be a very big jump. So we'll advise accordingly, and some people say, oh, I cannot, even the lightest gear I find it very hard to go up the hill. So we will tell you, then maybe you change to a smaller chainring size, which is a 45 or even smaller. Because based on experience, when my wife was pregnant on our second kid, she was still cycling. She stopped cycling like 2 days before giving birth. I changed her chainring from the standard. In fact, that time it was 44. I took out from my Brompton bike. I put a 44. I downgrade to a 39. So it's easier for her, because not only she's carrying the one inside, she's carrying my then 5-year-old kid on her back, tumpang lah. So it makes cycling a bit more enjoyable for her, rather than putting a lot of leg power. She's just like relaxing, because at the end of the day, the folding bike is just what we call a chiang bike. Relax, point A to point B, go makan, this and that.
Make the experience as enjoyable
Correct,
as possible.
and they say, hey, you want to go cycle now? Go where? Changi. Wow, I stay Kallang in Changi. What time? Okay, I take MRT, go to Pasir Ris, then I cycle to Changi. So you have the option, and then you want it to be enjoyable. Going uphill is a bit relaxed. So for folding, these are the upgrades that normally I would recommend. And for other kind of bikes, the most important upgrades for you to actually enhance your cycling experience or speed will be your wheel set. A better hub, a better wheel set will actually makes a lot of difference. But do use your stock, what we call stock, whatever you're given when you buy the bike, and then slowly you upgrade. Then you know what's the difference between the stock one and the upgraded one. Rather than you straight away change, then it's like, what's the difference? So here at City Bike by Fazzbike, we don't push on upgrading. I normally let you enjoy the bike first. Then later you come back to me and say what you want to change, and that sometimes we don't have the components, because we concentrate more on retailing, servicing, and repair. We don't do a lot of modification and all that. So if you cannot get it here, we will advise you where to get it from, and then if they have a workshop, they can fix it up for you. If not, bring back to us, fix an appointment, we fix it up for you at a fee. That's how we do it. So the upgrading is important, but depends where you put your money at. Don't
upgrade for the sake of upgrading.
Yeah, don't be disappointed and say, hey, I want to upgrade this, I want to go fast, but then you only ride once a week or maybe once a month, and then there's no improvement. Then it's like, hey, I changed so many things and yet I cannot go fast. So because again, sometimes I tell my friends, my customers, we are not riding an e-bike. It's a bicycle. That's where the leg. So you should be riding often. It doesn't matter whether you ride 1 hour, 2 hours. I tell my customers, make it as a lifestyle. After dinner, bring your bike down for half an hour to get it digest. So it becomes a lifestyle. Then like you enjoy it, and then rain only is raining, I want to go cycling. That's where you enjoy riding. It's not like please rain, I don't want to go cycling. That's where you find cycling as a drag. Like now, like you have a group of friends, Sunday go ride. You wake up only, you check the weather forecast. Let me share with you guys about tips on maintaining the bike also. Okay, basically a lot of questions asked, can we wash the bike? You can wash the bike. It's like how you wash your motorbike or car.
It's not made of paper lah.
Yes, correct. You can wash. You can use what we call a car shampoo or just water. But of course, you use a car shampoo, or that will be better. Car shampoo is a bit more mild. Sometimes you use detergent, it's a bit more acidic. It will eat into the paint. So car shampoo will be good. Then just use the normal soap. After that, you rinse it with water. The most important part is to wipe dry it. That is to prevent it from rusting. So a lot of people, when they come back from cycling, they caught in the rain. What they do, they fold their bike, or it's a normal bike, they chuck one side. The next morning, they wake up, or the next few days, when they go, wow, my chain all rusty. So that is where the rust sit in. Once, even though you have no time to wash the bike, when you come back after a rain, what you should do is get a cloth, wipe dry it first. Dry and make sure when your bike is open, grip on the chain with a piece of cloth, dry cloth, and spin the crank around, backwards or forward, depends whether you have step, to make the chain dry also. If you have a chain loop, first thing you do is, after you dry it, loop the chain. Then after that, you can chuck it one side. Wash it when you have the time, but never leave it aside. That's also determine how smooth your bike is going to be when you cycle. Because if you're going to chuck it one side, then you will hear like a cricket like that. Got cricket, got squirrel all coming out from the bike. So that's what we don't want. So we want you to take care of bike, then your bike also will take care of you. That's how it works. And then pump your tire each time you go out for a ride. Correct PSI is stated on the side wall of the tires, so it makes your bike ride more enjoyable.
Thank you for sharing on maintenance tips for your viewers and maybe your future customers as well.
Yeah. We are quite frequent about videos sharing on our social medias, how to DIY or bike problem that you have. So we share quite a bit on our social media and other platforms also, on other groups also, so you can learn from there also. There are more videos to be explored, but sometimes you need the mood, you need a content to do it. Then the video will come out good. If you just do it for the sake of doing, you won't turn out.
You must have the idea at the right moment.
The feel.
The feel, correct.
Chinese say more feel.
You cannot force it out, right?
Yes, correct. It's okay. Let's do it. So like the recent video I did about the tire has a card with a $2 note. It just happened because the customer was there, and it's like, okay, I just do it. Yeah. So sometimes my wife, or I call it my ex-girlfriend, will help me become the video person and all that lah. So yeah, it will come naturally when you have the content and then you have the mood to do it. So it makes not only me doing it fun, and the viewers to look at it, and it's like, it's quite nice to
it's something interesting and something that
yes.
not many people know that it's available like the $2 from your wallet.
Correct.
It's an emergency like life saving.
Correct. Yeah. So it's like people I get why don't you use other things? But basically, your money is always with you lah. Be it $2, $5. In emergency, you just use whatever you.
$2, but why not $50?
I normally don't carry $50 when I go cycling. Normally it's small notes. So I mean, if you got only $50, then by all means. But then later you cannot buy a kopi already. So yeah, or you ask a friend, you got $2. So yeah, the $2 is a good hack because people may not know the $2. One thing, it's not made of paper. It's a bit like plasticky, and people say, "Well, then why you don't use paper?" Imagine when you ride on the road, you use a paper, and the road is wet. What happened to the paper? It gets disintegrated, and that's where your tube will be exposed again. That's why we use the $2. There are some other material, but like I said, when you are cycling, basically you will always have money.
So $50 will disintegrate because it's not plastic.
$50 is it? I thought it's the same.
I think it's not plastic. It's paper.
I don't know. I use $2. I told you I only got $2. So yeah, the $2 is a very good tool. So paper we tried, it doesn't work. So yeah, it will not disintegrate. Maybe next time I'll do $50.
Okay.
Later let me $50.
Okay, I'll go and draw $50 later.
Okay.
Pikes and 360. Which one do you prefer?
Both is good. I would say both is good. It depends on customers normally ask me which bike is better. There's no better or good bike because both bike to me it's good. That's why I retail them. My principle of doing business is I want you to come, if can every week, recommending a friend because the bike we sell you is good, rather than you coming every week, hey, your bike got problem, your bike. That's how we do the business. That is why we only sell these two bikes. So the difference between 360 and Pikes is the frame length. The 360 is 1 inch shorter, the Pikes is a bit longer, 1 inch.
I can feel the difference.
Yes, correct.
360, right? Although I'm quite tall, but I still feel much more upright and comfortable.
Yeah, because it's short.
Yeah.
The Pikes is a bit
It's
longer.
suitable for like maybe females, right?
Yeah, female, ladies, kids. I have customers who are tall but they got back problem. They prefer a bit more upright. So all this we normally that's where we have our test bikes to let the customer test and see which one they prefer. And at the same time also normally I ask them, what kind of color person are you? Sometimes they say, oh, I'm a blue person. Then okay, we have 360 and Pikes. If they say I'm a pink person, at the moment we only got Pikes, then okay, you bo pian lah. You have to go with Pikes lah. If you like that one pink. So that is also how they choose a bike also. So normally both has the same gearing system. You are working on semi-archer, the standard semi-archer. So both is the same shifters and all that. It's just that the 360 is 500 grams lighter compared to the Pikes. Yeah, that's more or less about it. So both folds the same way, ride almost the same way. Of course, the 360 is lighter, so you feel a bit tweaky, while the Pikes are a bit more sturdy because of the frame and also the weight. And a bit longer, that's a bit more sturdy. So if you are a kind of person who likes to what we call chiong, always chasing on Strava, best, all those patches, then
Are you?
no, I don't really go on Strava lah. So basically the Pikes will be better because if you want to go fast, the bike a bit more sturdy. The 360 also can be done. It's just that it's a bit too light. So your handling must be a bit more sturdy. Yeah, but I ever clocked a very good speed on the 360 before. So I believe that one probably average about 34, 35 or so. And yeah, it was quite some time back. And it was still on the M bar. So now I'm more on the riser, so a bit more aero. Yeah.
Because you're a road cyclist. So
Yeah,
aero is very important to you. I mean, you're used to aero already.
Bro, my body not aero. Oh, it's just that how your position of it, but my body not aero. I need to work on my diet. So yeah. Okay.
So, what messages do you have for your viewers?
A lot of news currently about cyclists and drivers. I mean, just stay safe. Keep to the left of the road when you are cycling. If you are cycling in a group, always shout for objects on the road, potholes and all that. Wear a helmet, and most important is keep yourself hydrated. About more on riding is wear light colored clothes if you're riding at night. Helmet is a must. Lights and all that.
Okay,
Most important is stay safe. At the end of the day, I always tell my guys, you want to go home safe to your family, like how you go out of the house also. So that's very important. So I mean, who wants to have fun? Who do not want to have fun? Everybody wants to have fun, but always remember
Safety
aspect.
first.
Yes, safety aspect. Yeah.
Thank you, Fazz, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for
coming down.
Yeah,
And
sharing
thank you everybody for viewing the video. And thank you. Derek is even then like thinking that this is a Chinese shop. Then English.